Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Battlefield 4. Now, I haven't made a Battlefield 4 in quite a while. I think like the last video I made in here, it was when I just got my new mic. But that's beside the point. The reason I'm playing this game is because it's kind of a casual game that I can just play. The matches are long enough to where I really don't have to worry about my performance. I can just talk a bunch of shit. And that's the reason I'm doing this series. This is more of a series about my commentary, less so about the game. I decided I wanted to do something where it's a lot more involved with like sort of me not just talking about what's happening in a video game, right? It's more so me getting to just talk about myself, because who doesn't like talking about themselves? And so I decided to go through and just tell some stories, some life stories, some things that have happened to me or even people I know. Most of it's gonna be school stuff, and so just so it's organized, I guess, or it's easier for me to think of stories, I'm gonna go through chronologically. So starting off with elementary school, nothing really exciting happened. You know, everybody's elementary school experience is pretty much the same. You're just a dumb little kid. But mine was a little different because my mother worked at my school, which I know a lot of kids seems like a nightmare. The fact that like your parents are always there watching over you or whatever, but I wasn't a bad kid. I never did anything bad in school. I was a little like troublemaker, like I fucked around a lot, but I was never bad. Like I never like punched kids and shit, 'cause that's rude as fuck. But my mom worked at the school, and my best friend at the time, his name, I won't give his real name for the sake of anonymity. Let's call him Joe. Joe was my best friend in probably 4th and 5th grade, and his mother was the principal of the school, right? And that's really why we got to be good friends, because we were always the kids that were like lounging around the fucking office waiting for our parents. And so me and Joe, once we like got to know each other, we started to like hang out a lot, right? As you do as a little kid. And so Joe and I would, kind of knowing that we had like diplomatic immunity, because at the end of the day his mom is everybody's boss, and my mom and his mom were like good friends, and so we wouldn't do like terrible shit. Like we wouldn't go around like cussing teachers out and shit, but we would like do things that we know only we could do. And so there was a program called 6 to 6 in my elementary school. I think it's now called Prime Time. My sister actually works for it. Okay, there's a tank. And 6 to 6, it's sort of a program for kids whose parents work early or late, right? They can go in. It's called 6 to 6 because they can go in at 6 a.m. School usually starts at like 8 or something, and then after school they can stay there until 6, because school usually gets out at like 2 or whatever. So it's a pretty long program that is basically just like a daycare for your kids if you can't pick them up from work. And since my mom worked at the school, I didn't get to leave school for a while. Like I for all intents and purposes should have been in 6 to 6, but since my mom worked there, I could like hang out in her office or whatever. And in the beginning, I didn't like the idea of 6 to 6. I didn't like having to like go to somewhere. It was basically like going to school after school, which fucking sucked, right? But like by the time it was like 5th grade, and I was older, it was basically just playtime for 4 hours. So it was really really cool. But one day, me and Joe didn't go to 6 to 6. We were just hanging out, like playing on the playground or whatever. But we decided to check out what they were doing in 6 to 6, because they'll do like certain games, and maybe it's fun, maybe it's better than what we're doing, just fucking going on the slide a million times, right? And so we go into 6 to 6, see what they're doing, and they're playing Twister, which is, you know, all fine and dandy. However, there's a bit of a problem here, and Joe has he had a tendency to get carried away with himself, right? Like, as all kids do, no one ever wants to stop playing, right? Like, you're playing, you're having a great time. No one ever wants to stop for any reason. And so Joe had a tendency to maybe just shit his pants. I'm not going to say that's what he did, but he might have. And so one day, we go to 66, they're playing Twister. We're like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, we're about to kill it in Twister. Me not being the most limber of a child, I like lasted maybe 2-3 rounds before I was like twisted into a pretzel and was like out of there. And so people are still playing. It goes on, and there's maybe like 4 people left. Right? It's getting pretty competitive. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win." Nah, fuck you, kid. I'm gonna win. And so Joe's still left. He's still going strong. And then there's a stench that starts to fill the room, and it's a very, very distinctive smell. You wouldn't miss it. And right away I knew what it was, right? I'm like, oh fuck, that I know who it is, first of all, and this is super weird. Because since they're playing Twister, his ass is like 2 inches away from people's noses. Like, no joke. Like, if they were to look up, they'd be like staring his third eye in the face. And so I'm like halfway holding back cringe and laughing because it's so fucking awkward and super gross, like weird, but like fucking hilarious because I'm a dumb little kid. And it goes on, right? And like no one mentions it. I think everybody thought it was a fart at first, but no kid, like, at least at that age, farts were only funny as noises, right? So if like you smelt a fart, it wasn't funny because it's like that just smells like straight up asshole. But if you were to like hear it, it's funny. But no one heard it because shit is pretty silent. You know what I mean? So everybody's sort of looking around like, do you smell that? Is it me? Did I fucking eat something? Like, what is that smell? And it gets to the point where like a teacher's like, hey, does anybody need to go to the restroom? Like, you don't, like, just go if you have to, right? Like, giving Joe an out. And he was fucking stone-faced. I looked at him because obviously I knew, like, I was friends with him and I knew he would do that weird shit. And he, like, exchanges glances with me and he's like, nope, like, we're staying. Like, I'm committed to this lie. And so, not wanting to give him up, I like play along, I guess. I didn't tell anyone like, oh, Joe straight up shit his pants. But anyway, it gets to the point where everybody's like trying to figure it out. Everyone's like, what is that smell? Check the trash. Did something die? What is that? Mm-hmm. Okay, great, phone. Thanks for interrupting. Unless that's Kanye with the release. Uh-oh. This might be a live Kanye drop, and I'm about to freak the fuck out. God damn it, Twitter. This is very professional. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I've been waiting all day for this. Seems like the type... Wait. Oh, fuck. Now, media takeout. Always remember you dissed the collection that changed the world. You seem like someone just had to... Oh, fuck, never mind. He's just preaching. Okay. We'll return to that later. Anyway, it's probably like 10 minutes later after everybody's like swimming in his butt, basically. And so we make the like decision to, all right, let's get out of here, right? Let's just leave. And so we start to leave, and we had been pretty stationary because we were just watching people play Twister at this point. We weren't, or he wasn't participating, and I got eliminated early. And so we're just sitting there watching people like fucking befuddled at what the fuck they're smelling. And then we start to leave. And as I'm sure you've all experienced, if you don't smell the best and you start walking around, all you do is drag it around. Like, you don't leave it where you were. It follows you. And so we're walking out and it's just trailing behind them. and it's bad. I mean, it's been in there for like 10 minutes now. It's had time to churn and fucking cultivate and become this whole new organism at this point. So we're walking out, trying to be as like casual as possible, and then all the kids like at once realize what's happening, and nobody laughs at him, but they all start like sharing glances, because at this point they didn't know if it was him or me, right? And I was tempted to like clear myself and be like fucking rat him out, but I didn't. And so we just walk out and never talked about it ever again. It was like a weird thing he did that I don't know if I really hope he doesn't do to this day. But yeah, that was Joe. He was a crazy fucking weirdo that did that kind of shit. And it wasn't like a funny joke to him. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna shit my pants, it's gonna be funny. It's like, oh no, I just shit my pants, and that's what I have to deal with now. So that was interesting.